That's me. It has been a hot minute since I grabbed this camera and decided to vlog something, but to be honest, that's because in the past 2-3 weeks I've not really had a reason to vlog anything because I've not really been riding my motorbike. I assume most of you have seen my multiple crashes during my first press ride with Triumph in Wales, and I knew I had whiplash. I knew it was going to be rough, but I didn't think it was going to be that bad. The symptoms actually started to get better after a few days until all of a sudden they just got worse, like significantly worse, to the point that even riding for 5-10 minutes would flare up my symptoms and my neck was in agony. It was so bad. But I went to my physio, saw her a few times, and all of a sudden, I think today's Monday, on Wednesday, the symptoms just disappeared. So I'm finally in the clear to ride my bike because I've ridden it since and it's not, touch wood, aggravated the symptoms. Again, I've not really filmed anything. I've not filmed any new content at all. I'm not gonna lie, I am going through a very unmotivated phase. Like anything I produce, any of the content I'm producing, I feel like it's just crap. And I'm just having a feeling like, oh, what's the point? But we got to keep going, and that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna try and keep showing up. But things have been busy with work, and we're going to enter another busy period because next week my students have assessments. And also, I am teaching content I've never taught before, so that's a bit of a challenge having to prepare it. Why am I vlogging this week? Well, there's a few things happening which are going to be both bike and non-bike related. My mum, she's coming over tomorrow. She's going to stay with us for a week. And then we're also going to go see family friends down south. But the most exciting thing, bike related, is Saturday because we're having the first get together for the Next Gen membership at Bike Shed. I am representing this membership, which is a absolute honor, and I'm so excited to see where it goes and being able to be more active within the Bike Shed community. So I just wanted to check in. This vlog is kind of just an opportunity to showcase what a typical week looks like for me, both with content creation and the jobs that actually pay the bills, because unfortunately we're not quite there yet with content creation. I am a little bit stressed, not gonna lie. Trying not to be. I feel relaxed but I feel stressed at the same time. It's really strange. If it was me 2-3 years ago, I would be crying in a corner having a meltdown, but we've progressed since. I've been spending this entire morning alternating between prepping for lectures and making a chronological video that's going to play on the background whilst I am presenting, whilst myself, Dutch and Dan were the ones that are going to be presenting the Next Gen membership on Saturday. And whilst we're presenting, this video is going to be passing on the background, basically depicting my entire journey from start to finish with motorbikes. Anyways, let me crack on with some more work and I'll chat with you in a sec. Just got to Bike Shed. It's Wednesday. I didn't film anything yesterday because there was nothing too exciting. I went to work and I was spending all morning on the laptop working. So I got a meeting with Dutch, going to discuss final touches and details for Saturday, and then this afternoon is going to be pottery painting. It's really funny being here with no one around, but great for filming because then I don't have any distractions or people staring at me, because I still get nervous filming in front of people. We've got the posters. There's 3 of them. So this one here, the Bike Shed, and then this one, which was the shoot when I did with the Nolan helmet, and then this one. They're all really cool. So yeah, and then description of what the membership is in the back. Apparently there's a big one that's been printed. Gifted 1-year membership or gifted membership. Yeah, sounds good to me.
Because that way it kind of gets her more interested in that idea. It's you directly saying you think she's great. You know, you've got your sister. So we can always make it, you know, that we've just decided to do that for the people that we want.
that there's a big poster. Actually, 2 of them. That's me. I can't believe it. I'm definitely going to get William to get a picture of me standing in front of this. And that's not just one. There are 2 of them. Oh my god! And it's William's work, as per usual. Me and my little CBR. Hee hee. Some people probably wouldn't know who it is because you can't see my face. That's me! So now I'm on my way to my mum and my sibling. They are currently pottery painting. I'm going to join them. I'm just coming up a little bit late. It's going to be nice now, just spending some time with the family. Isha very kindly drew this, and now I need to try and not mess it up. And I'm doing little mushrooms. Mum's also got mushrooms. Mihai, show me yours. Let's get close up. He's got an underwater pumpkin.
Yeah, just something different, Halloween themed, under the water, with a little greyhound and a sharky.
See, this is the artist of the family. Say hello, artist of the family.
Hello, artist of the family.
No, you're the artist, I'm not. So I've got shroomies on the outside, and there's one shroomy on the inside. I'm really proud of that mushroom. Look how cute it is. Ooh. And then that's the top. Haven't touched it since the beginning. That's courtesy of Isha, who drew it, and then I outlined it with the black. Got mum's ones here I'm going to show.
Careful, it's wet on the rim. I don't know if that
So
needs
you got
touching.
mushrooms as well. You see, we're a very big mushroom green household. With all the little shroomies. I drew them, but mum painted them. They look really cute. And Isha's doing a gecko. Gecko, lizard, wherever it is. But it's still not finished, so we can't show it yet.
Ready-made meals.
Oh, yeah. What about some gammon steaks? Like gammon steaks?
It is Friday now. You saw me on Wednesday. You didn't see anything from yesterday. Yesterday was just a long ass day. I went into work and it was pretty much 5 hours of theory straight. So my students and myself, I think we all felt the same at the end, and I didn't really do anything productive. I need to wash the bike because obviously it's going to be at the bike shed and it's going to be exposed. Although there are a few cracks and broken mirrors, some of the paint's chipping. It's part of the history. This bike is horrendously disgusting. Don't get it in your eyes with wind, that's for sure. I hate cleaning my bike with a passion. And it's one of the reasons why I kind of stopped working with cleaning product companies, because I couldn't be asked to do the media. And also because I had a bit of a rough one with Muck-Off, where they just went radio silent for 8 weeks. And only after like 6 or 7 emails they actually replied. But at that point, I'd already said that I was, not interested in working with them anymore. So yeah, it's not all fun and games, and that's my experience with them. Because I know some people would have wondered, why did I stop working with them? Well, that's why. Because they decided that they no longer wanted to reply to my messages. So wish I could get someone to wash it for me.
There you go. We play rugby.
So it's the morning of the event. It's currently, I think, 9:15. Willie and I got here a little bit earlier because we need to get a bit of footage, some videos, intro videos and photos in and around the shed. But my bike is over there in the background, and then in the big screen is going to be the video I was talking to you about. And anything else we needed to pick in reflection of the membership. William's over there walking away. Bye. Bye. Who would thought my bike would be inside bike shed? Like inside. Me with a poster of me behind me. This is very strange. So my mum is repping Bike Shed, and she's funny enough wearing the same outfit, or very similar, as to what I was wearing when I announced. Why do you look so... Relax, Mum. Relax, Mum.
You're not being held at gunpoint.
Yeah, but my mum was wearing pretty much the same outfit as I was wearing. Can you take a spin, Mum, so we can see? Got my customised Bike Shed jacket. Isha's also repping Bike Shed. The jacket I gave, jacket, t-shirt, top thing. So how are you finding Bike Shed, Mum?
Brilliant.
Brilliant is the word. Yeah, we also have sprouts. Where's your sprouts?
In the
In
bag.
my bag.
Oh my God.
She's going to sprout in Portugal.
On the membership director. Yeah. Obviously, you can do a copy.
Get that B-roll.
Get the B-roll. We love some B-roll.
Yes, you'll be the face of Poppy's YouTube video.
I'm going to be the thumbnail.
Yeah, literally. Just
I want to go because you are literally 40 minutes away from my house. TS 125 from 1992.
really model.
And that's somebody cutting us off on the road. It's really fun, interesting footage.
It's going to go back to Portugal actually, so she'll hang on to it then.
Motorbike.
My brother.
Because that could have explained a lot.
Yeah, I think it does.
So thanks all for coming, really appreciate it. Really wanted to just have a little moment to explain why we're launching Bike Shed Next Generation membership. And it's really simple. 15 years ago, we were you lot. We were a whole bunch of people that wanted to do biking differently. All of my lifetime as riding bikes since I was 15 years old, one, I never called myself a biker. I never thought I was a biker, even though I spent all my money on bikes. And two, you go to all these places like Rikers or the Ace Cafe, and mostly it's a bunch of old farts who won't talk to you because they think they know it all, they've been there, they've done that, and they won't talk to you because they're on a 1000cc and you're on a 600. So that's what it used to be like, and it was pretty unfriendly. When Vicky and I and the gang created Bike Shed, the whole idea was to make it inclusive and make it for everyone. So we created this venue, we created a destination that was to gather like-minded people that like bikes, where no question's a stupid question, and you can find new friends, you can turn up on your own, you can find a community, find a crowd, and also there's no peer pressure to ride like a twat. Because the problem is when you get into biking, you know, when I was in my 20s and I had a bike, I was basically 99% testosterone, 1% brain cell, and I rode like a twat. But it's quite important that we try and encourage that sort of staying alive behavior and create positive role models and positive experiences. But we were just like you lot, and we just wanted to create something. But we've been going for quite a long time now. Bike Shed in London as a venue is 10 years old, and the whole of Bike Shed as an idea started in 2011 when there wasn't a lot of bike stuff going on, to be honest. Biking was sort of dying and no one really gave a shit, and the manufacturers didn't make cool bikes either, which is why we were customizing them. But we created this venue, and then someone turned around, and we called it Bike Shed Motorcycle Club at the beginning. Now we call it Bike Shed Moto Co. because everyone thought you had to be a member of a club. I heard a rumour that we changed the name because the Hells Angels told us to, that we couldn't be called a motorcycle club because it was an MC. Great rumour, not true. It was because people kept saying, oh, I can't come because I'm not a member, and it said motorcycle club above the door, so no one would walk in. So we changed it, and I always like the word company. But what happened was people kept saying, you've got a club, how do I join? And we were like, no, we haven't got a club. And what are you joining? You don't have to be a member to come to Bike Shed. It's just an idea. But people were like, no, I want to contribute, I want to be part of something, and I've met all my friends here, so this is a club. So we created the club, we created a membership, and then we realized that the club was, you know, really to kind of gather people together so they could do stuff. And I'm not going to steal what Dan's got to say, because he's got it all written down in grown-up ways on a presentation. But the whole point was just to gather people and to create an inclusive, welcoming space. But as time has gone on, I've realized that our generation we're just getting older. And meanwhile, over the last 5 years, particularly since COVID, we've seen a huge influx of new young people riding motorcycles coming to Bike Shed. And I felt like we're missing a connection to that crowd because we're doing what the older generation did to us, hanging out in little cliques, talking amongst themselves and thinking that we know everything. And that was one of the reasons for deciding to create a membership, a price point for people that,
actually, young people don't make as much money and it's difficult to get on bikes and it's expensive. So we didn't want money to be a barrier. I'm going to introduce Poppy, who probably all of you know, but I do want to say a little bit about why we created the ambassador program. And most of our ambassadors are around 30 or under, which was coincidental, to be honest. We realized that there were a new crowd of people like Jed, like Poppy, like Harvey. We really wanted people that represent our values. And I was really impressed with the way Poppy was writing her whole journey from biking, right from the very beginning, from CBT all the way through. And so for me, I thought that was quite inspiring, and the fact that no question was a stupid question. I remember the whole thing about wearing the wrong armour. And it was like, I really like that. So that's my bit, that's my opener. We're not going to talk for ages. Dan's going to talk a little bit about what the club actually offers and what you get. And Poppy's going to do a little bit of explaining about why she's here and her journey.
So I've been depicting my journey on social media since May of last year. I've been riding for nearly 3 years. I got my CBT, and the reason why I got it is because my dad, he's a big biker and he's the one that got me into bikes. So got that done and was riding, didn't really know anyone, so was just riding to and from work. But I then decided to start making some silly videos on social media. In the meantime, I got my A2 license. When I got my CBR, I was getting more and more active with the social media side of things, and I think that's where Dutch then came across my profile. When Bike Shed approached me with becoming an ambassador, I really was fond of the idea because I noticed that both of us had similar principles, or we both wanted the same thing. I wanted to create a space that was inclusive, where people could feel like they could ask questions, where they could feel welcome. From whether you're on a CBT, whether you've been riding bikes for 20 years, I wanted to have a page or create something that people could feel like they could be a part of. And it's essentially what Bike Shed are trying to do now, because it is true, the members club right now, my first ever time I went out with the members, I was one of the youngest people there. And there's not an issue with that. It's just a case that there are lots of beginner riders, lots of people who have had their license for only a couple of years, but they don't feel like coming to the shed or being part of the club is something they can do. It would have never crossed my mind up until Dutch asked me to become an ambassador to join the club, because I didn't feel like I fit in. I didn't feel like I had the right bike for it, but it's completely, it's far from true. So that's essentially what we're trying to do, trying to showcase that this is a space that's inclusive for everyone, no matter what bike you ride, how long you've been riding, and our objective, this is something that Dan's going to be talking about more ahead, is trying to include more activities that could tailor towards those who've only been riding for a short period of time. One aspect for me was, for the first 18 months of my journey, I didn't make any friends, but that's because I didn't really actively look or go and, to meet and greets or to ride out. So it felt a little bit out of my element. So was actually the first time I interacted with most people was at an event here. And it's the case, I came here and that's where I met my group of friends that now I ride all the time with, and they're some of the closest people in my life. And it just goes to show that just spaces like this, you can find your friends for life here, or you can find people to ride with, like-minded people, because you might be working somewhere no one rides bikes, and you're all working in the same environment. But then you come here, like Dutch and I were talking about, you can come here. All of us have different jobs, have different environments, but we all have one thing in common, which is motorbikes. I'm very grateful where I am right now, and I really, really appreciate this opportunity. So I'm really looking forward to where this takes us. And I think we're going to pass on to Dan, where he's going to explain what the actual membership entails, because I think that's what most of you are here for, to understand what can you get from becoming a member.
It's fantastic to see all of you guys here. It's incredibly important for us that all of you feel, even if you don't join, because one of the things I always say to people about membership is when they ask about joining, I said, well, you don't have to join. You absolutely don't have to. This is a home for people who love motorcycles. That's it. So you don't have to join. But the thing is now, if you want to, hopefully it's affordable, it's a bit more meaningful. You can look around the room and see the other people that are interested. And if some of you have come here on your own, well, you're no longer on your own. You've got mates. We really fully expect this to sort of transform the profile of the people that feel as though Bike Shed is their club. And this is your home, as members or not. And that's it. So thank you very much and enjoy Bike Shed and see you all around.
I'm just going to apologise right off the bat if this comes out a bit windy. As you can see, I'm at the beach. I've come to see my family, friends. I decided to come for a little stroll and reflect on this week and Saturday, which was the main event, besides my mum coming over. The day actually went really well. We started later than we thought we would because we were just trying to see if more people were going to show up. And it wasn't a massive group, but to be honest, it was a small group of the right people, which is ultimately what we wanted. All of us at Bike Shed took it as a win because those who did come, the majority of them showed interest in joining or actually joined the membership, which is ultimately our main goal. We want to try and bring as many, beginner riders or the next gen riders, which is ultimately the whole point of calling it the next gen membership, because we are the next generation of bikers, even though that sounds cheesy, but it is true. I think things would have occurred much better if I wasn't so busy, because like I said, I have been working like crazy, been really, really busy at the university, having my mum over, so all these different things. I didn't feel like I had prepared myself the way I wanted to for the event, but like I said, we took it as a win, and we're going to have the monthly members' nights at the Bike Sheds, which are going to be open to anyone. Even non-members can come and have a feel of what the membership is like, the people who are there. So it's going to be something, it's not just a one-off thing. What I've achieved through becoming a part of Bike Sheds, it has enhanced a lot of aspects in my, biking journey. So I think everyone should have the opportunity of experiencing that. And that's why I love this idea of creating the new tier of the membership and trying to get younger riders joining, because they organize some fantastic things. Things have also been a little bit tough in terms of motivation. I think I'd mentioned this a couple times. I am going through a bit of a unmotivated phase, but I was then reflecting roughly the same time last year. I went through a really unmotivated phase as well. I honestly think it's the time of the year, because personally, I despise winter, particularly in this country, because coming from Portugal, one thing I can never get my head around is how early it gets dark here. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I hate it. I hate the fact that you get to December and it's 3:30 and it's pitch black. Then it's really cold. I do not handle well in the cold. I got Raynaud's disease, and riding a motorbike when it's, -5 degrees is not fun. So I think it's the lead up to that time, or the lead up to that season, that's really bringing me down in terms of motivation. And there's not really much going on. I've also been so busy with work. So I think all these things paired up is just having a toll. But I know it's not forever. So despite things not going exactly how I planned, it was still a good week. I learned a lot, and it was great to finally get the message across with the Next Gen membership. I think I'm going to finish the vlog here and enjoy the rest of my walk on the beach and my time down south before we head back up. I really appreciate those who have been supporting my journey on YouTube. I'm loving the long format videos. I'm really excited for the next one, which is going to be of the CB 750. And I don't know what's going to come next, but hopefully it's not the Portugal one. Hopefully there are things that I can do between having the CB and going to Portugal. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.